Hello and welcome to the farm.
No!
Hello and welcome to Postcard A Pint. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Wills.
And today we are in the pretty town of Llangollen in North Wales.
It's pretty.
It certainly is. In this video today we are going to take you on a little tour around Llangollen. We are going to visit the Abbey of Valle Crucis.
We are going to have an Oggie.
We certainly are. And if you do not know what an Oggie is, a Welsh Oggie, stay tuned and you'll find out, and it's not as rude as it sounds. And then we're going to look at the story of the Ladies of Llangollen. And then what we're going to do, Wells?
And we're going to go have a pint.
We certainly are. So come on a tour today around Llangollen.
Come and have a pint.
Come and have a pint. Let's go. We've arrived in Llangollen and we've parked. The car park we've used today, what three words? Button, trouser, asked. It was a bit of an issue parking today. We couldn't get into the main car park. I think coach loads are here today, but we're here now. Let's go and explore Llangollen. Llangollen is a beautiful picturesque town in the north of Wales. Its name derives from Llan, meaning parish of. You'll see there's loads of places in Wales that start with Llan, always means parish of, and then something else. And the second part is named after Saint Collen. He was a 7th century monk, and he arrived paddling up the river on his coracle, and he thought, this looks quite a nice place, I'll settle here. Hence Llangollen. And this is his church. Llangollen sits on the River Dee, and at the end of the Victoria Parade, where we are now in summer, families will come here for picnics, they'll swim in the river. As you can see, in the autumn, there's still a couple of hardcore mentalist paddlers going for it.
This is my kind of game. House.
Llangollen really is one of the prettiest towns you could ever want to meet. It's absolutely gorgeous. Warning though, it does get a little bit busy in the summer season, so watch out for that. And it certainly gets busy for the International Eisteddfod at the beginning of July, but more about that later.
Can we please?
Maybe.
It's the International Pavilion.
We're now at the home of the International Eisteddfod, which is held here every year in Llangollen. Well, apart from the last 2 years, thanks to old Rona, it wasn't held in 2020, and I think they did it virtually in 2021. The Eisteddfod is a celebration of culture, art, music, dance from all over the world, and it was established in 1947. In recent years, I say recent, definitely in our lifetime, they've had this impressive pavilion built. It's fantastic, people come from all over the world, they have a parade through the streets of Llangollen, there's people dancing, singing, and then there's a week of competition here. It's normally the beginning of July, and some really famous people have performed at the concerts here. Pavarotti performed here, Bryn Terfel, a famous Welsh opera singer. My favourite story about it was when I was late teen, early 20s, I came here and I watched the dance day and a bit of the singing, and the guy had come from Mongolia on the train. It had taken him 9 days to get here, and it was the first time I ever heard Mongolian throat singing, and it was cool.
Over the years I've done a bit of work in here. It's a strange old place with slightly bonkers acoustics, but it's a pretty cool venue, and they also use it for concerts as well. At least they always used to. And many years ago I saw, who have I seen? I've seen Catatonia, and I saw the Super Furry Animals here. Cool gigs.
One of the most impressive sights in Llangollen is Castell Dinas Bran. This is an ancient Welsh castle which sits perched over Llangollen, looking over the town. Wills is pointing it out now. Now, unfortunately, we're pushed for time today. We haven't got time to make the trek. It's quite a long way away up the hill and quite a hike. But if you'd like to see more about it, we did cover this castle in our very first vlog, Secret Castles of Wales. Check out the link in the description below. Between the town and the pavilion are all these little music notes in the pavement so you can find your way. So follow the music notes, follow the Quavers kids to find the town.
We've just jumped in the car and we've come about a mile outside of Llangollen, and we're now at Valle Crucis. We'll show you around this in a second, but just so you know, it's about £4.30 to get in, but it's well worth it. Let's go have a look.
And the what three words are movies, tables, fists. Valle Crucis, or translated from Italian, Valley of the Cross, is a Cistercian abbey. It was built in 1201 by Madog ab Griffith and was the last Cistercian abbey to be built in Wales. Valle Crucis was the spiritual centre of the region, whilst Dinas Bran was the political stronghold. This is the Pillar of Elysee. It's the surviving part of a tall stone cross, once said to be up to 20 feet high, and this is what gives its name to Valle Crucis, Valley of the Crosses. The cross was erected in the 9th century, but stands on top of a burial mound which is said to be even older than that. Madog was buried in the completed abbey in 1236. Not long after his death, it's believed that the abbey was quite badly damaged by fire. Choir monk or lay brother? Life was very different in the abbey, depending on who or what you were. If you were a choir monk, you spent your day in prayer. You attended up to 8 services a day, and if you weren't at prayer, you were copying manuscripts. Now, if you were a lay brother, you rose at dawn, and unless it was a Sunday or a feast day, you went out to work in the fields all day. The lay brothers ate in their own refectory, they slept in their own dormitory, and they even worshipped in a different part of the church, separated by a screen. During the 15th century, the abbey gained a reputation of a place of hospitality. Can you just imagine the sounds, the sights, the smells of this building ringing with the people of those times?
Is it Oggie time yet?
Not yet. Although it suffered damage in the wars of the English King Edward I, him again, and the uprising of Owain Glyndwr, Valle Crucis remains one of the best preserved and atmospheric medieval abbeys in Wales, and in fact the UK as well. It's fantastic.
And now we're off to buy some Oggies.
Yay! An oggy is basically a pasty, much like the Cornish pasty, although legend has it that it was served here in Wales in the 12th century to builders at St David's Cathedral, making it 600 years older than the Cornish ones, but the Cornish would never have that. The oggy was the food of the Welsh coal miners. By putting your meal inside pastry and baking it that way, it would keep the meal nice and clean and fresh away from those grubby coal miners' hands. And apparently, the sign of a good oggy is that if you can drop it down a coal mine and it stays intact, then that's a good oggy. But if you think you're dropping my oggy down a coal mine today, lad, you've got another thing coming. Some people say that when the wives had baked their husbands' oggies, they'd go to the mine shafts and they would shout down the mine shafts, "Oggy, oggy, oggy," and the miners would reply, "Oi, oi, oi," and that's how they'd know which mine shaft to chuck the oggy down.
The whole oggy, oggy, oggy cry was adopted by the Welsh rugby fans back in the 60s and has been made pretty popular by the Welsh comedian Max Boyce. Oggy, oggy, oggy!
Oi, 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 oggy!
We've gone for the beef and horseradish oggy. And the first bite, we've got quite soft, but still crispy. Say skin then, it's not skin, is it? Pastry. And then the beef, really moist, and melts in your mouth. Got it all in my teeth now as well. Can't taste the horseradish yet, but it's good.
Would it survive a drop down a mine shaft?
Probably not, but I ain't going down any mine. So, what do you think now? I've got a bit more.
I can taste the horseradish. It's really lovely. It's like the meat is so soft, but you're right, that would never survive a trip down a mine. So I'm glad it's mine, not going down a mine. I'm so much funnier than you. What did you make of your oggy, lad?
I enjoyed it. After you last saw me, I could taste the horseradish and it was really good, really tasty, full of flavour, really good soft meat. It was a bit salty, but I like salty things anyway, so that's okay. I'd give that a good solid 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
So yeah, thumbs up to the oggies. So now lunch is over, we're going to head off to Plas Newydd and have a look at the Ladies of Llangollen. Now here we have two of my favourite things, Christmas decorations and a Shakin' Stevens reference. Green door! About a 5 or 10 minute walk up a bit of a hill, so if your walking isn't that good, maybe bring the car, but you get to Plas Newydd. Now this is open to the public. It's I think it's £6 if you're an adult, £5 for kids. I think it's free if you're under 5, and the gardens are free of charge to get into. We're going to hand over to Rachel to tell you a bit of a story.
This is the story of the Ladies of Llangollen. The Ladies of Llangollen were actually both Irish. They were Eleanor Charlotte Butler and Sarah Ponsonby. Their families lived 15 miles apart in Ireland. They actually met in 1768 and they immediately became close. They formulated a plan for a private rural retreat and their dream was to live an unconventional life together. Rather than being forced into conventional marriages, the girls left Ireland in 1778. Unfortunately, their families found them and tried to bring them back, but it was in vain. Whilst travelling through Wales, they found a perfect peasant's cottage. They called this Plas Newydd, and this is what is Plas Newydd today. They settled here and sent for Sarah's servant, that's the word, Mary, and they brought her over, and the three girls set about renovating the house. They improved Plas Newydd in the Gothic style, with Welsh oak panelling and stained glass windows. The ladies were embraced by the people of Llangollen as eccentrics. They devoted their time to hosting friends and curious visitors. It is said that visitors have included William Wordsworth, Lord Byron, and even the Duke of Wellington. Towards the end of their lives, it is said that the ladies dressed in black riding habits and wore men's top hats. Whatever they dressed in and however they lived, I'd say they had a really happy life and they were well ahead of their time. Go the Ladies of Llangollen. And here, back in St Colin's Church, is where all three of them are buried. Well, we've come to the end of an absolutely lovely day. We've had such a lovely time, but now comes the time where we ask you ever so nicely if you will like this video.
Like the video, subscribe to the video.
Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel.
And hit the notification bell so you know when we release more videos.
That's the one. And if you fancy it, if you've got a bit of time, you can watch some of the other videos. That'd be pretty good. And all the way to the end, because I do a joke at the end, and it's actually pretty funny.
It's debatable.
That's rude, actually.
It's not, it's true.
Okay.
Right, what time is it now, Wilson?
It's pint time!
It certainly is. Come on.
Come on. It's pint time.
It certainly is. And he's off already. We've come to the Chainbridge Hotel, which is just outside Llangollen. It's a gorgeous little place. It's got a lovely outside veranda.
It's got a chain bridge.
It's got a chain bridge. It overlooks the river on one side. It's got the canal on the other side.
We didn't get to the canal.
We didn't get to the canal. We wanted to walk from the canal in Llangollen all the way here, but we just ran out of time.
We did. We'll do it again. We'll do it next time.
As we always say every
Next
week.
time we'll do the canals.
What's been your favourite bit today, Wills?
My favourite bit was Valle Crucis was cool, but the Oggie was ace. I loved the Oggie.
I liked my Oggie.
I know you liked it because you're wearing half of it, aren't you?
I had an accident with my Oggie.
Yeah.
I think Wills might have even filmed it. And if he's really horrible to me, he'll probably pop it in here.
We'll insert it here.
Would my Oggie make it down a mine shaft intact? Would it bugger? Wouldn't even make it out of a plastic bag.
It wouldn't. But we've had a fab day anyway.
Yeah.
And we've seen some sights. Oh, there's a train going past at the moment.
Train going past.
I wish we could show this to you now.
Know. I really liked the Ladies of Llangollen story. That was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. And this is really cool.
I'm liking this. It's been a long day.
As we say,
in Postcard A Pint.
cheers.
Cheers to the good times.
Whee.
Down in the town before, this bloke came up to me. He said, "Hey mate, could you tell me the quickest way to get from Llangollen town up to Valle Crucis?" I said, "Certainly." I said, "Are you going by car or walking?" He said, "I'm going by car." I said, "Well, that's your quickest way then."